Hey everyone, Shawn Clement here for Golf WRX and Wisdom in Golf, of course, at the wonderful Royal Quebec Golf Club. And today we're talking about how Brooks Koepka naturally squares the club, not with the bowing of his left wrist, because he's right-handed. It's through the dorsiflexion of the right wrist. So let's have a look at that for a second. First things first, anatomy of the arms and how it's set up. So if I let my arms hang in front of me or to the side of me, notice how my shoulders, the shoulders in the human body are slightly forward. Why is that? So if I'm jumping towards you, notice how my hands come together in front of my body. And when I'm getting ready to jump, they separate from my body. It's very hard for me to bring my hands together behind me, but very easy in front of me. That's so I can sew stuff and cut stuff and feed my face. So naturally, the shoulders, because they're forward, are going to bring the hands a little inward. See how my hands are a little inward? So when I bring my hands, if you look at the grip that Brooks Koepka has, he's got a neutral left hand, but a very strong right hand. Now, if I dorsiflex the right hand, look at how closed that club face looks now. It's about 45 degrees closed. And that's all I did was just dorsiflex the right hand. So notice at the top of the swing what that looks like. So if you look at this video that they did at the PGA Championship, you know, that 360 degrees, that is a fabulous camera, by the way, or multi-camera usage. And you see at the beginning that nice strong grip. And then at the top of the backswing, you see how that right hand is dorsiflexed. And that's what causes that left wrist to bow. So this is just along for the ride because he's right-handed. And now on the downswing, he's delivering very much like a major league pitcher. So if you look at a major league pitcher, in a fastball, you've got a nice dorsiflex going on right now. That elbow leads the hand leads the fingers. See that? So notice how the finger, by the way, is hooked on. So if the club face is too open while you're lagging, well, you can't get through the ball. You have to force the club to square up. But if your right hand is stronger on the bottom and you got that nice dorsiflex at the top, see how that closes the face? Let's have a look here with this particular tool. Always a very cool tool. So, dorsiflex, look at that. Look at how that influences the club face. Now I'm going toward the target. There you have it. So through impact, you'll see that lead wrist bowed and that right wrist dorsiflex. So he's collecting the ball here and releasing the ball to the target. Now, obviously, so let's go back to, I'm definitely not, that's not the way I play, by the way. You can easily see that. So there's the dorsiflex. There's me going toward the target. This is what allows Brooks Koepka to stay with his targets. Saturday wasn't really a day for him to stay with the targets. You notice that the previous day, at the end of the day, he was trying to get rid of the couple of blocks that he had, and it only exacerbated the problem because he's focusing on what he has to do with his body parts to not do that. And I totally don't agree with that line of thinking. That's what distracts him from his targets and the delivery, the direction that he wants to start the ball. After he realizes that's not working, he's going to get back to work and go, hey, I need to put the ball there. And that's when things come back into place. Jordan Spieth, please, this is where you need to go. Stop thinking about what you need to do to prevent these mistakes and just go back to your small targets that you used to focus on a while back, and that will bring your system back to snuff. So for those of you who are unsure what I'm talking about, go to my Monday video that I just put up on my channel, and you'll understand why Jordan has that two-way miss, okay? And why Brooks was blocking. He was doing much better with his draws than his fades on day 3 of the PGA Championship. So, if we look at hammer, and by the way, we have an amazing premium channel at $5 a month that'll explain all this to you in detail. and show you what tasks you need to be on instead of what body part positions you need to focus on. We're already Pinocchio without the strings. We don't need to put the strings back on. We just need the right task to light us up. So if I was hammering down on something, see that? My radius and ulna are stacked on top of each other, and I've got a beautiful, motion to compress. Take that, I want to go to the target. See that? So now notice how my right hand is more under the club. There's Brooks. This is what allows Brooks Koepka to go in that direction when he's playing. Okay? That right hand is under, and that's what allows him to come through properly in his golf swing. So if we do it here at Wisdom in Golf, because most of you won't be able to do that, you're not strong enough in that lead arm to get that wrist to do those things. So we need to rely on both arms, the solid anatomy of both arms. So if I'm hammering down on something, see how my head's nice and level, and then I want to hammer through to a target. See what happens? Now I'm able to hammer through to the target. My radius and ulna are stacked in that direction in both arms. I can collect the ball here and release the ball in that direction. And that's the way we do it. It's a much more sound way of doing it, especially if you're learning golf later on in life. We need to use the anatomy in the proper way. Look at Brooks and Dustin. They were wee lads when they started to play golf, and whatever they had at the time, they just used. And when they came to the coaches on tour afterwards, they already had the goods. That story with Bob Toski, Bob Toski looked at what was going on. He saw the ball flight. He's seen a few ball flights in his lifetime, and he could see that, hey, if this is what you're doing to produce that, keep that. That's the ball flight that's going to win you major championships, and that's what gave Brooks a lot of confidence. So this will explain anatomically why he's able to square the club and still able to work the ball beautifully because of that strong right hand grip. So if I'm doing fades or draws, you saw what we did on Monday. I'm going to do a little fade for you, red post to blue post. And this is what he needs to do now is my alignment is left of the intermediate point, my ball's slightly forward of center. And I'm predicting that when I swing in the direction of left of the intermediate point, that my club face, angle, and my ball position will allow the ball to start in that direction. And the distance I have to the ball will allow me to swing in that direction and not lose my balance or not hold back. I'm going to have to hold back. I'm going to have to lunge at the ball. This feels like I can go in that direction without doing any of that. So it feels like I can stay with my target now. If I don't stay with the target, so here we go. Default to the ball. Now I'm going way too far left and pulling it. Or, whoops, what's happening now? I'm way out in front of it. As I fire and that kinetic chain engages, now there's no way I can square it up. I'm blocking to the right. So you have to stay with the shot. So right now I'm just focusing on delivering a nice whip to the left of the intermediate point. Left side, left side, left side. And that was blistered. Very solid shot right over that red flag. And it just didn't quite fade back to that post. So if that blue post was back right pin, I'd be in the center of the green, take my 2 putts, and move on to the next hole. And that's basically how you want to work your way around. You notice that Brooks Koepka draw we talked about last week. So I'm lining up at the blue post, which is the left pin, play the ball a smidge back in my stance, and now I can just release to the right of my intermediate point toward the center of the green. So I am looking for a nice release in that direction now with ease and velocity. So what's that going to feel like? Oh, yeah. I'm staying to the right. I'm staying to the right. Yes, that started to the right. Drew a little bit more than what I wanted to. Let's try that one more time. So if I stay to the right, I got the right ball position. And I got the right club face angle. Fantastic. So now I'm just going to stay in that direction. Right edge, right edge. Right edge, got it. So that started right in the center, right over that red post on the right. Drew back, nice little nudge, about 7 feet to the right of the flag. And that's how basically you want to go about your business. So I hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you next week.